everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Yet another different background. Can you notice that? Well, how have you been? I hope you guys are safe and you're staying home. There is no need to get out of the house unless and until it is an absolute necessity. If you talk about me, well, last week I was Mia. No video on last Wednesday because someone in my family was unwell. Though luckily with God's grace it wasn't COVID, yet there was hospitalization required, because of which I was busy, so I couldn't do the video. And this time I thought I should do something very special for you guys. So all the content creators out there think that their role is only to create content. Put good content out and you will just be discovered, just like that. That is not how it works. You actually have to work hard to be discovered. And the same thing goes for your podcast also. So today we are going to talk about how to market your podcast. Now I'm sure your next question is, Neeti, if we have to market ourselves for a podcast also, then why not social media? I keep on telling you guys that why not social media, because the effort in promoting yourself on social media, say Instagram, on LinkedIn, is way too higher as compared to a podcast. If you create a post on Instagram with all the nice graphics and everything, but Instagram algorithm keep on changing, because of which you or your content is not discovered by your target audience easily. But when you create a podcast and you put it on all the directories and you start promoting your podcast, the chances of you being discovered for your content, for your brand, for your product becomes much more easier. So today I'm going to teach you 6 ways to promote your podcast. These are simple, easy, and most importantly free of cost. Well, I'm thinking, since I have a habit of talking a little too much, so I'll be covering 3 points today on promoting your podcast or marketing your podcast, and the remaining 3 will be for our next video, which will be coming on next Wednesday. So let's just begin. Number 1, friends, family, community. You're thinking, what are they going to do? Well, they'll be your first listener. Once you put your content out, you can ask your friends, your family, their friends, and your community to listen to your podcast, to subscribe to your podcast, to follow your podcast, and also to spread as much awareness about your content as possible. They will be your first listeners. They will understand your concept. They will figure out what you're talking about, and they will help you spread the word. Most importantly, ask them to review your podcast on Apple Podcasts. Number 2, content teasers on social media. Now, how to use your social media? Well, if you already have your platform on Instagram, on LinkedIn, but before that, I have a question. You have to decide. You have created content, but your content is for whom? Who is your target audience? We have discussed about it a lot of times, and I'm dropping a link also so that you can view my previous YouTube video where I have discussed about target audience, or what is an ideal podcast avatar. That is your listener. So understand about how to discover your listener, or how to find right kind of listeners, and then you can decide what social media platform works the best for them. For example, if your product is related to entrepreneurship, then obviously LinkedIn is a better platform for you. But if it is about lifestyle, fashion, fun, then Instagram works for you. So first you have to decide what social media platform works for you, and try and focus only on one at a time. If you'll try and create content for all the platforms, trust me, you'll be tired and you'll just leave this exercise aside and stop doing it at all. In order to avoid that, find one social media platform and try and create content for that. Now, what kind of content? Number 1, you can create audiograms. They just work the best. Figure out the best possible part of your podcast episode, which can be the hook. Cut it, edit it, and place it as an audiogram on your social media. This will allure your audience to come back for more. Now, audiograms, as I discussed, are just small short bites of what you have discussed in your podcast episode. So it's kind of a teaser, kind of a hook. It should not be more than 40 seconds to 1 minute. And most importantly, it should be crisp, sharp, and should definitely act as a bait for your target audience. It should allure them to come back for more. Apart from that, what you can do is you can create some nice graphic art related to your podcast episode. It could act as your Instagram post, or it could be posted on LinkedIn as well, depending on what platform works for you. Now what you can do is you can create a nice art. What all your post can have? Well, it can be a tip which your guest has shared on your episode, or probably you are sharing in the episode. It could be a quote of a popular guest who's just appeared on your podcast. It could be anything interesting which just makes sure that your listener tunes in to your episode. We've spoken about audiograms, we've spoken about posts. Now the third thing is videos. It could be an Insta live, it could be videos on your Instagram stories, it could be video on LinkedIn. Videos always work, or it could be a Facebook live, whatever works for you. It could be, you can just call your guest for an Instagram live and talk to your guest about the show or about the episode which is about to come out, which will again create curiosity. Or it could be your BTS, that is behind the scene. How was the recording? You can share some nice pictures of your studio or with your guests, or some interesting things of your recording setup. Or it could be some facts which you shared with your guest but did not come out in the episode, but you can always mention in your stories or videos, mentioning that these details are also important, mentioning that this content, though is not in your podcast, is also funny and interesting for your audience to know. One thing which I use and I will highly recommend is bloopers. They genuinely work. Like in every video, I do a lot of fumbles and I use those bloopers every time to promote my videos. So same goes for your podcast. If you have bloopers, do not delete them. It's fine. They may turn out to be really funny and can actually let your listener know about your fun side as well, and may bring your listener to your podcast platform. Don't you agree? Number 3. Be the promoter of your podcast. No one else is going to do it for you. You are going to do that yourself. Now, how to do that? Be comfortable about your content. Like if you think that your content is brilliant, then why are you shying away in promoting it? Just be everywhere to promote it. For example, you can go on Clubhouse and talk about your podcast. You can go on Twitter and talk about your podcast. But before that, you have to think it through. Like, what is it that you're going to mention about your podcast? So create an elevator's pitch. Now you're thinking, what is an elevator pitch? Well, elevator pitch is a concise way of mentioning what exactly your product has. So it should definitely have the name of the podcast, then what is it about, then who is it for, and most importantly, what is the USP? If you answer all these 4 questions properly, it will turn out to be your elevator pitch. Your elevator pitch cannot be more than 1 minute. It's like, if you're going out and someone asks you, what do you do? And you say, oh, recently I've just launched a podcast. Okay, what is it about? You should be able to answer that question in not more than 45 seconds. If you're able to do that, then trust me, this works out as your elevator pitch, and then you can use this pitch everywhere. Clubhouse, Twitter, or you can talk to people around in your community, outside your community, or you can get in touch with a lot of other people and mention about your podcast. So these were the 3 ways to market your podcast. I'll just give you a quick recap. Number 1, friends, family, and your community. Use them because they'll be your first listeners group. Number 2, social media, audiograms, content snippets, everything works. IGTVs, videos. Number 3, be the promoter of your content. Create your elevator pitch and pitch it to everybody, whosoever you meet, and you can tell about your podcast too. Well, it's time for me to say bye-bye. I'll be back next Wednesday with the remaining 3. Till then, you take care, stay home, be safe, and most importantly, if you step out, wear your mask and sanitize. Bye-bye. It's time for double mask, okay? Bye. Hold on. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you would like to learn about podcasting. Please press the bell icon so that you do not miss out on any content. And most importantly, if you like the content, please press the like button, please share, and please subscribe. Bye bye.